Dozens of bushfires spread as heat grips Australia's east, BBC. Sydney swelters through autumn heatwave, bushfire threat looms, Reuters. Dozens of bushfires spread as heat grips Australia's east. Dozens of bushfires burning across Australia's east coast could get worse as a severe heatwave continues, fire services have warned. After 2 years of rains and floods, a return to warmer conditions has sparked New South Wales state's worst fires since the 2019-2020 Black Summer. A blaze 250 kilometres, 155 miles, northwest of Sydney triggered the region's first emergency fire warning in 2 years. Firefighters reported battling 10 to 15 meters, 49 feet, high flames. Residents in affected areas across New South Wales, Australia's most populous state, have been urged to evacuate, and there are reports of damage to some properties. Temperatures in some parts of the state also hit 40 C, 104 F, on Monday, for the first time since January 2021. On Tuesday, 33 fires were still burning across the state, 10 of which were not under control, fire authorities said. The NSW Rural Fire Service said strong winds had driven the fire's rapid spread. It's going to be another tough day for firefighters and potentially even into tomorrow before we get some reprieve, RFS Commissioner Rob Rogers told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Australia's Bureau of Meteorology, BOM, also warned that dry thunderstorms were possible across eastern NSW, which could spark new fires. RFS Inspector Ben Shepherd told the BBC a number of other fires in western NSW were likely to be problematic. The hot and dry conditions are expected to last until Wednesday. Eastern Australia has experienced 3 consecutive summers of La Niña conditions, with above-average rainfall causing widespread flooding. In 2022, Sydney recorded its wettest year since records began. But last week, the BOM said its models suggested La Niña was likely near its end, with a return to neutral conditions or even the hot and dry El Niño phenomenon, likely in the southern hemisphere's autumn. At least 33 people and an estimated 3 billion animals and birds died in 2019-20 Black Summer fires, one of Australia's worst ever natural disasters. Sydney swelters through autumn heatwave, bushfire threat looms. Sydney, March 6. Reuters. Parts of Australia's east, including Sydney, recorded their hottest day in more than 2 years on Monday, with temperatures hitting more than 40 degrees Celsius. 104 Fahrenheit, raising the risk of bushfires. Firefighters are working to contain nearly 40 bushfires across New South Wales, the home state of 1/3 of Australians, with crews on the ground supported by aircraft. One fire near Mudgee, more than 250 km, 155 miles, northwest of Sydney, is at emergency warning level. Emergency crews urged residents there to seek shelter as it was too late to leave. Total fire bans are now in place for multiple regions across most of New South Wales, NSW, while 35 public schools, mostly in inland regions, have been closed due to the severe heat. If a fire does start, it's going to be burning under those difficult conditions. It's harder for our firefighters to get around them. And fire can spread very quickly, particularly in grassland, Angela Burford, operational officer at the New South Wales Rural Fire Service, told the Australian Broadcasting Corp. Dry thunderstorms are also possible across eastern NSW, leading to conditions that could see lightning ignite new fires, the Bureau of Meteorology said. The hot and dry conditions are likely to persist until Wednesday. Penrith, a suburb in western Sydney, recorded 40.1 degrees Celsius on Monday afternoon, the hottest day since January 26, 2021, while some inland towns reached nearly 41 degrees. Australia's east coast has been dominated by the La Niña weather phenomenon, typically associated with increased rainfall, over the last 2 years, which brought record rains and widespread flooding. In 2022, Sydney recorded its highest annual rainfall since records began in 1858. But the Weather Bureau last week said its climate models suggest La Niña was likely near its end, and neutral conditions, which is neither La Niña or its opposite El Niño, were likely to prevail through the southern hemisphere autumn.